that many times just to do the bevel. The contouring, the holes, the weight relief, pretty clean. So you can see, I mean, I'll show you them up. But that's the minis. I got some. Let's go to the right tool. 20 is really good. Not long ago, 10 was the most you get one of this model. And then all night, just back to back to back to back. Compared to that white that you had. So there you go. It'll really hog it out. It's gonna be a hell of a lot easier to sharpen. You know, you're just knocking that little extra burr that you couldn't get off. It's all nice and floppy. Thing around it. You know, I don't want to hold you back. I like Ulti-Clip. I think they're a great company. And if you push too hard, you can actually really, I was like, what a cool trick. Sculpture thing. I really like this one. Being from Wisconsin, we're pretty big into camping and outdoor stuff. Doing this, I can make 10 of these in the time someone would make a prototype.
Hey guys, Eli here. I got a fun video for you today. I went down to Midnight Knives in Santa Rosa, which is about 9 hours south of me, and we videoed Kyle's process and his precision process of creating his knives. He makes these knives on a CNC machine, and then he hand finishes them, as well as his sheaths and his scales. Very, very cool process. It was like a real life how it's made, but just to the next level. Kyle's awesome. This video is going to be kind of long. I tried to cut as much fat as I can out of the process of making the knives and speeding some of it up, but really it was just really cool. I think we were there for 2 hours and him just kind of going through every step in process. Of course, it takes him a lot longer to make these knives, but we kind of just did little piece by piece and show you how his process works. This video has two purposes. One purpose is for you to get to know Midnight Knives and his knives. So Kyle, the maker, and his fixed blades are awesome. He has 3 sizes, which I'll go over. We've got 3 knife sizes. Kyle first sent me the standard Winnebago, which just locks in your hand perfectly. It's a small knife, but man, it just feels like you have a good grip and you have all this force on the blade and torque and control, and I love it. He initially gave me the sheath with the Ulti-Clip here, which is phenomenal. You'll see how these are made, and it's so cool. The tension is perfect on these, like just dialed, and just in and out, super easy and locked in, not going anywhere. He gifted my brother one of the small ones. He just basically asked us when we were there, he's like, hey, which one would you like to take home? And I already had a medium. My brother said, hey, the small is cool for me. And then he gave my brother a small sheath from tailored by Cortez as well. These are phenomenal. I've been carrying just recently, actually this one goes with this one, for my standard size here. And so then he's got the large, and I was in love with the large. I love big blades. And this is just phenomenal. He brought the swell out a little bit on these, so a little wider, and we've got just about a 3.5 inch blade, and so you can see the difference there. He calls this like his camp knife. Basically said that he has friends that have quartered an elk with one of these, which I totally believe. Got these in MagnaCut at 62 on the hardness, and just a phenomenal blade. Yeah, just so rad. And then this one in particular comes with a different sheath. We've got a belt loop style, and then he references a little bit. He's working on a full leather sheath right now. That is just 100% leather on the, sorry, not full leather sheath, a full leather belt clip. So you can see this belt clip here. It has some Kydex, which stands off, which is great. I've been carrying this and I love it the way it stands off, but he's working on one for people who are hunting that want something really, really extremely lightweight, and that leather just comes straight across. So very cool. I saw that when I was there. He was prototyping it and working on it for some friends, and then later to sell. But phenomenal sheaths, phenomenal knives. These tailored by Cortez sheaths are really cool as well. We've got, go that way. Got the Ulti-Clip built into it, so just sits right in there perfectly. And I've been carrying this, and it basically disappears in your pocket because it's so deep carry. And then I put a little lanyard, which I just 3D printed one, and on there. So yeah, enjoy this video. Hey guys, I'm here with Kyle. We met at Blade Show in October, and we are now in the 1st of January, 13th in the year. And yeah, Kyle had sent me a knife, and it was super nice of him, and I really enjoyed it. And I was talking to him about your process, which is insane. Yeah, so we're just gonna go through that process today, and then we're just gonna kind of sit down and just learn a little bit about Kyle. Perfect. I appreciate you guys getting up so early today and making the trek. Yeah, it's a good time. All right, let's start with step 1. All right. So before I get into computer work, I typically will just
sketch, and this is a model, but I would sketch and then I just go straight to cardboard. I went to school for industrial design, so mock-ups are huge, and ergonomics, you just want to go as fast as possible to make sure that it's going to work. And going through all the 3D modeling and everything just takes time. So doing this, I can make 10 of these in the time someone would make a prototype. So I mocked up a ton of these different shapes, and you look at them next to each other, you realize all the different things you need to change and iterations. There's probably 10 iterations before you do the 3D model. And after that stage, I ended up 3D printing a lot of the parts. So I had a resin printer at the time, but you just print up a bunch of handles and make sure they feel good. And this is actually an aluminum prototype, so machined it out, but aluminum is so much easier to work with. I mean, it's a matter of a day's work to set that up versus months for the actual steels. So I was doing a 3D printed handle with the aluminum, and then I started machining the handles and just making sure on the aluminum prototype. But once I got it kind of dialed in, I thought that it was something that I wanted to spend hundreds of hours on. You start in the program and you model up the actual pieces. So this is just the blade itself, and this is the fixturing that I use. It's a Pearson pallet system, and once you get it in there and you have your final design, that's when you start to program all the steps. So there's multiple versions to get to where we got, but these are the final manufacturing steps. And just here, like you can see, this is going to go back and forth that many times just to do the bevel. And if you're profiling the blade, there's this many steps. So each number is actually a tool number, and it's switching back and forth. It's showing the profiling, the contouring, the holes, the weight relief pocket, etc. And you can really nerd out on this. Each tool, you need a certain speed, feed, everything. So there's so many blanks that you go through just to get it to actually work. So everyone thinks you just throw it on the pallet and you make 6, but you probably have to make 60 to make 1, and then you get rolling. You can move just right here. I can grab this material. So your typical, when you're not mass producing, your typical raw material looks like something like this. This is from Niagara. I'm now buying sheets from them, but this is a typical blank, or something like this. This is 2-inch. And you can get it in a 3 or 4 foot section. But you either cut it up or you have someone water jet your blank. Water jetting the blank, it saves you some time, but mostly it saves you tooling because these tools are really expensive. So this is typically what you would get. This has a lot of extra on the outside, but it allows you to really get the contours and everything without having to mill through the whole stock. And so this is kind of where I'm at. I'm getting a sheet cut of these, and then I'll process them. After your first blank, you would just profile it. So this is without a bevel, kind of how it comes out. You have the jimping, you have all your critical holes reamed and chamfered and ready to go. But really the most time consuming part of this whole thing is the bevels. And just figuring out, all your processes to make sure they're smooth and consistent. We're mass production, they do a lot more bevel grinding, and that would be very nice, but that's not really how most of us are doing it. They have a small machine.
So you have to send off your blanks. You get your blank and then you have to send it off to get it water jet?
So actually Niagara offers a service that if you buy a sheet, you send them your file and they will water jet, and they'll even surface grind it for you.
Cool, so it cuts down some time for you.
Yeah, it takes some time for them to do that, but the surface grinding is really important too, because when you do the flip and you do the other side, you really want to know the thickness and not have to do your offsets on your machine every single time. So that really does help. These are 1/8 of an inch thick. That's where I like it. I mean, it's beefy enough where it's going to be strong, still slicey. So back to the program. Once you get all of the tooling and everything selected and in the machine, you need to actually physically pick your tool and your holder. These ER32s are the ones that I usually use. They're just nice, strong holders. They're a little bit beefier than something like this ER16, which is great for a drill bit. And it takes a lot of back and forth because you can use a huge ball mill or you can use a small one, and your results will vary greatly.
And how long have you been doing this process?
These knives, I've had this machine for like about 1.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so my normal job, I do 3D modeling and design and rendering every day.
Yeah.
So I have 15 years experience, but running my own machine, I basically just dove off a cliff, you know, and I'll figure it out, kind of.
Love it. That's great.
Yeah, I always say that I went to YouTube University.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys that are like me, similar style knives, they did the same thing, you know.
Yep.
If you really enjoy something and you have faith in yourself, I think you can just jump in.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah.
That's great.
These things are finally at a price point. It's not cheap, but it's at a price point that if you want it, you can have it. Mm-hmm. Cars are expensive, houses are expensive, you know, anything you want. This is a similar thing, you know, just invest in it and work your ass off.
Yeah. And if we didn't say at the beginning, it's called Midnight Knives because you're working till midnight.
Yeah, I mean, there's nice to see some light in here today because normally 8 to midnight I'm just like down in the dark dungeon basement, but it's actually really peaceful for me. Yeah, it's great to get down here, get away from everybody, and just focus. There's so many little features and fun things. This is like one of the coolest things you could possibly be doing with your time, you know. I'll show you the kind of the blade setup first. This is your typical palette. If you're doing one knife, you would typically have a vise set up and you would just, you know, mill out one at a time, but this really makes it more efficient. I'm using these pins to locate the flip of the blade, but on the first operation you don't need to. And then I use a clamp, something like this in between the two, and I'll set them all up and let it run. And typically when I run 6 bevels, it could be 5 to 6 hours. It really depends how tight you want it to look. I want a mirror finish if I can get it, because sanding is no fun. But regardless, you're gonna do hand sanding every time. You know, it comes off good, but not perfect. And then your typical handle setup, this is a blank of micarta, but every blank, it comes in a huge sheet or whatever, but this is mostly what people get, 5 by 12 inches. This is denim micarta.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is more of a linen. And you can, you know, I don't make the micarta, but you can order it from all these different companies. It's so cool. There's international companies, local.
Yeah, I love the camel. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's a camel micarta. And it's crazy what that looks like. To begin with, it's actually this.
Yeah, okay.
But you can see on the edge a little here.
So they've got like a layer of epoxy on the outside?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers to it. And what I do is I make a jig for that. That looks something like this, which doesn't look like much, but all of these channels allow you to actually mill them all the way to the finish. Wow. Yeah, usually I would like run one size and I would get it set up and then all night, just back to back to back to back. I'll run all the material basically.
And these probably go quicker, I'm guessing.
Yeah, this still was like 45 minutes to run it. But then I'll do some handwork to all of them, and then usually use mineral oil or another oil to kind of darken them and really get, this is the light color, it'll come back to almost this. Let's do it. So at that point.
Don't mind this yet.
Yeah, I can pull it further out. At this point you have a bevel. It's not perfect like I said, but it is pretty clean. So you can see, I mean, there's some marks and everything, but they're pretty dialed and the edge thickness is right where I want it.
All the way down to the...
Yeah, so basically to a final bevel. And then at this point, I have this machine that's actually for tool and die. I've seen other knife makers use it, so I'm not the first, that's for sure. But it's not a tool made for knife makers.
Okay.
It just became one, I think, because there's so many people in their garage doing this. But it's a great tool, so it's a vibratory. And you don't need a lot of pressure, so I'll just use a little oil. And I got it set up on a foot pedal. And right now this is a 400 grip. And then there's a million settings on this thing. So but you can see it's safe to touch. But it's really ripping. And it doesn't make your hand go numb as much as like a Dremel or something like that. And you would literally just go back and forth. You know, I put on a podcast, come down here. And even on a weekend, I might put 5-6 hours just standing right here. And it really does a good job. So you get this fine thing. If you were to use a Dremel, you'd get deep grooves, and it'd be terrible.
Concentrate your skills.
Sure.
Because you got so many.
Yeah, so these are the minis. I just started 3D printing a bunch of holders because I'm running out of space as usual. Yeah. And I can actually fit about 5 times as many if I change. I'm gonna turn it this way and run them up. But that's the minis. I got some standards right here. Some of these that are in this tray are actually more of the exotic stuff. So people custom order all the time. It doesn't say it on my website, but I make scales of any material. Yeah. This is like Dali. I don't even know what it's called, to tell you the truth. But the person sent me an image, was like, I want this. I will make it. It doesn't matter. Did pink for a girl a couple weeks ago. Sweet. There's a girl from the University of Oregon that graduated. She was super nice, and I found this color that's just like the duck's color, and awesome. Did that for her, engraved it for her graduation. It's like pretty cool. Neat. And so I end up with all these random ones, and these are actually like the best for a blade show. Yeah. Because you can't get them on the website, you know.
That's great.
And that's why I think the fat carbon and the aluminum are going to be like pretty fun to show. Yeah, so here's her green. This is the Oregon green. Yeah. But you'll see it. So this white is what happens after milling, but once you hit it with the mineral oil, it'll come back. Wow. So I can spray one in there, but so this is the camo, and then once you hit it, it really comes back. And then, so I do heat treat here, but I try to do batches of less than 20. Yeah. And right now I'm trying to ramp up because I'm finally getting a good amount of orders.
And where's that?
So I have a kiln back there. I have 2 actually. And I pull them out where my motorcycles are, and then I do the quench with the plate quench. I have 2 of these set up, and I'll just be going back and forth for the whole day. Yeah. But I can only get about 20 done in a day. But I mean, once you're processing them, it's not that fast. You might get 3 an hour, and if you can do 2 at a time, you might get 6 because I have 2 quenchers, Yeah. Cool. So I'll pull them out, and you got to get them quick, And so this is what it looks like when it comes back. It has this like goldish hue to it.
That's cool.
And these have been heat treated and cryo.
Okay. What's cryo?
Cryo is a super cold treatment. Basically, right after it's done being heat treated, you'll do the cryo. Okay. Usually before the temper. Okay. And that just gives you a couple more hardness points. So say you're going to be at 62, which is where I like them. Yeah. You might get to 63 or 62 and a half. I mean, it's personal preference. Mm-hmm. So they come out like this. Yeah. And my next process is to throw them in the vapor hone. So this is similar to a sandblasting cabinet, except for I only put glass bead in it, so it's more of a polisher. But the real difference is it doesn't look like a sandblaster on the inside. It has this giant nozzle that shoots out like a slurry. So it's water and glass bead mixed with air pressure. Yeah. It's much softer on the knives, and it doesn't pit them. What it does is it actually smooths it out and makes it like a harder surface. Yeah. And what I like about it is it makes my surface, my finish really consistent. Okay. So I'll get exactly the same thing all over the whole thing before I do my tumble. You can, and so that has a window blast. Right when you hit the foot pedal, it'll come on.
Oh, okay, and clean it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So there you go. And it'll really hog it out. Clean it off and just make sure I got everything. It looks good. And then I just hit them with a little air from my machine. Keep this towel here. I like to keep everything clean. I might be a little crazy, but I think day to day having a clean shop, it just feels like home rather than the junkyard. And I think it makes better product, honestly. Paying attention to detail should be in all aspects of what you do. Mm-hmm. And you can see now that bevel versus what I showed earlier. Yeah. I mean, it's damn near like ground. Wow. It's perfectly smooth. There's no flaws to it. Okay. But you can really blast some parts. I do my motorcycle parts on there too.
Cool. That's awesome.
So yeah, from that point, I'll throw it in the tumbler. I usually grab 5. I just use a cheap Harbor Freight tumbler. Cool. I would love to buy a new one, honestly, but they're pretty pricey. So let's go in there and I'll show you that. This ceramic material here in the tumbler is on the softer side from your typical like Harbor Freight or whatever. It is a ceramic, but it's not very abrasive. I prefer a longer tumble time because it doesn't ruin the tip of your knife. Some people machine an extra little bulge here so that it doesn't break up the tip. but I really want to keep that. So a longer time doesn't bother me any. I mean, you don't have to do anything and get the outcome you want. So let's turn it on. All right, well, let's go show you the sharpening process over on my other bench. This is the Tormac. This is the T4. It's the little smaller version. For me, I've been putting in work on it, and it's plenty. I really like it because it has 2 abrasions. You can start with the more coarse and then go to fine. And it also has the leather strop on it. Pretty good, but you just dress it up with this stone. Yeah, the water cooled is huge. And then I just think being able to change the abrasion is great. I have a diamond wheel here too, which is faster, but for someone at home that wants to sharpen the knives, I mean, this is, and then I have a jig that I set up. I already set this knife up. I just put a little purple painter tape just to keep it nice after the tumble. I don't want to ruin my 5 hours of effort there. Yeah, so we're gonna go, I like to look at it personally. And I mean, the disadvantage of this versus my belt grinder is the belt grinder is way faster. But for me, I think the quality of what you get from this is much better.
It's taking you a while to master?
I would say I'm still mastering it, but I've done hundreds of knives on this same wheel. And you know, as you do it, the lines come out a lot smoother. This one is actually a knife that I was having a hard time with, but the real difference of the ease is how well did you machine it. If you machined it and your edge is perfect, that's why I didn't want to make it flat. I wanted to have a little belly to it. You get your hand in there and really, you know, you can grip up on this thing so easy.
Yeah, you're never going to hit the blade.
And that's perfect for doing fruits or whatever, and also for skinning. It's nice to get in there deep and really be able to hang on to it. So now this is bringing it up to a 1200.
The first one was what grit?
I believe it's around 600. It could be 4, but I've cut softer steels and it really just eats it up. This MagnaCut, it's hard. You can do all kinds of different things on the hone, but what you don't want is it to be dry. So this is like an oil. My favorite is this green microfine in Formax. You can use whatever that comes with it or whatever, but this is the one that for me is the best, because all you're really doing is knocking off your burr and doing a light polish. Like, this isn't going to change your bevel.
Yeah, it's going to clean it.
And then I would normally just give it a little test on the paper, and if I have to, go back to the wheel, but usually you might have to go back and forth a little bit to get it right. But and then lastly, little laser action. So if I could, I'd just bring you 4 feet to the right, and we'll show it to you. So I machined this jig here. It's just like the jigs I make the knife on, but it's specific for this tool. And the reason why it's important is I can find my location, and then the laser will always be in the same spot, rather than trying to move it around, which I've seen a lot of people, at least on Instagram and YouTube, moving around doing their thing. I want to make this as like factory as possible. So maybe this step is overkill, like putting the screws in and everything. But for me, it's just a few seconds, and I think it's worth it. So this is the logo side. You just adjust it down. I made this 3D printed little guy. And that'll tell you basically where the focus is perfect, which took a ton of trial and error. I can show you some of these sample chips. You can mess with the power and the speed and get different finishes. That's almost a pink and a white, all the way up to a really dark, almost burnt looking color. And that's all from the same laser, so almost green, red, purple to black. And so I'll do a lot of tests, but I kind of got to where I want. And then you take your logo from Illustrator and frame it up. So it kind of frames it like that. I know it's in the right spot, so I'm not too worried about going wrong, but you'll see it goes so fast. It's gonna just do the passes in no time.
That's impressive.
I'm not sure how the lenses will come out with the laser, but the glasses you wear normally filter it out. It's similar to a welding glass or glass blowing glasses.
Yeah.
So that's 2 passes on that one, kind of in a hatch. And then there you go.
That's awesome.
So let's flip it and I will show you the other side. I just throw a little MagnaCut USA. I've been adding initials for a lot of people.
Yeah.
This is kind of my setup. I like the Futura font, and we're just gonna put the MagnaCut USA on there. So this is a fiber laser. It's really good for steels, but it's not so good. You can't really do leather or plastic or anything.
Okay.
But it's really best for this kind of steel. Let me get rid of that laser here.
I only do it down in
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes I give it a little light polish, but you know, it's a clean logo. You can feel it. It has a little bit of surface to it. And then last but not least, making sheaths. All right, so this is my Kydex setup. I was doing it with the normal press and then grinding them out on my 2x48 here. It's a lot of work. It's dirty, it's slow. It'd probably take 30 plus minutes to do one. They had great retention. I thought they looked good, but this is on a whole nother level. So since I'm 3D modeling everything and CNCing anyways, you take this material, HDPE, which is literally cutting board, and you're machining out the knife plus a little extra section for the retention, and then an air channel with tiny holes. And then I bought some of this. I actually saw it from Henry's Holsters, the guy that makes gun holsters. He used to sell a setup like this. I don't think he wants to anymore, but he made these and they looked really cool. And then I made my own little table here. So I got a vacuum pump, just basic as could be. You know, some feet, whatever. This is my 3 sizes. The big one's got this, but these correspond to my pallets. So I'll be able to go right to my pallet. I like these bosses. I know people have their different techniques they like to do, but I know TJ Schwartz, a couple other people, they have a very similar way of doing it, and I got great tips from them. But I just twisted it my own way because I thought what they were doing was like a little hard for what I wanted to do. But very similar process, but I like that everybody does their own thing. You know, it's really cool that you can take the idea and then spin it your own way. You know, it's not copying. It's like art. It all has to come from somewhere, and then you do what you gotta do.
I know I told you I made a sheath, and it's tough.
It is tough. You think it's going to be this simple thing that slides in, but...
I did it in the kitchen oven.
So you know when you make one with a press, you put the blue tape on, maybe 2 layers, and then you have, the same with this, you have to account for that. So I've offset the blade, 2 blue tapes. So like you figure out the blue tape, you offset it, and then I made the tip like a little less than 2, so I have more of a grip.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm using this cheap t-shirt press.
On this?
Yeah, I'm a little hotter than I think most, but I'm at 350.
Okay.
So people do it as little as like 40 seconds.
Okay. There's a timer on that?
Yeah.
It's counting down in front of me.
It's gonna be 2 minutes, so we could probably and just rip through them. In a night, I could do 50 of these. It's all nice and floppy. And then you just put your thing around it. And we're gold. I like to press into the retention areas and my little bosses just to make sure. And then I just hit it with this. Turn the pump off for a sec and then it'll come right off. Just pop it right out. Let's just grab this one and let's run over to the machine and I'll show you. It's pretty cool when it mills it out. So at this point I'm going to move it to the Pearson pallet system and just mill it out. I need to remove what we were doing before. This is your setup for that one. All right, I'm going to change tools here. This one tool is specific for Kydex, so you can basically do everything with one tool. There's no drilling involved. Change the tool here. So this program, I'm actually running it very, and on the, a little bit on the slow side, but for me it gets less burrs and there's less cleanup. I can basically take it right off, go over, put the rivets in, and finish it up, rather than having to clean it all up like I was doing before. So that loss of time for the machining, hey, it's worth it to me. Money part, there isn't much of that, and there's a lot of work that goes into it, you know. It's if you don't love this isn't for you, because this isn't a cash cow, that's for sure. I don't know. The extra one for me, peace of mind. Some people use magnets. I tried. I think that the magnets and machining to me doesn't mix because metal attracts to it, and it's also just kind of annoying because they'll come off. But polish it up. But from here, I mean, it's a pretty clean little piece. There's very minimal burr. I mean, some would say it's a perfect edge.
Seriously.
But you don't want a sharp area here, so I buff that up. So in a typical sheath making sequence, you'd want to do like a ton at a time.
Yeah.
So many that your hands would be like sore from doing this. The other thing that I've gone back and forth with over the different versions is how tight you want these to push in. Like, you can see I'm pushing pretty hard. You don't want it this hard. Ideally, you'd move it like another thou out so you can push it in, but you don't want it loose because you're gonna turn upside down on that little press and they'll all fall out. And that is a nightmare. I'd rather have them tight than loose and falling out. Because you'll see it's just a rapid boom, 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 boom to set all these. I put a lot of these on there so that most everyone's system will work.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that for sure.
And the spacing from between European systems and US actually is different.
Yeah.
So you're never gonna be able to appease everybody because it's impossible, but I did a lot of research. I bought a lot of systems and to see what the ideal spacing and everything would be. Because you know when people get it at home, that's one of the most fun parts is they accessorize their piece. Yep. And you know, I don't want to hold you back from doing that. I like Ulticlip. I think they're a great company, but there's so many other cool things you can do. All right. And then I have these little specific wheels that are actually for Kydex. This one's a little bit softer. That one's almost ground to death, but that one's the one that I really like. So then, be like this dull color, but there's a little trick that I learned from Walker Knives. Do you know that guy?
I do.
He makes some really cool guide knives for river guides like kayak, whitewater rafting, whatever. He's up in the East Coast. I think he's in Maine. Okay. But yeah, I was like, how do you get it back? Like that dull, I don't like that dull edge, which I think some people actually do like. And so I hit him up, and he was the one actually to help me out with the wheels too. But give it a quick little blow. And then his trick is just to take a microfiber and load it up with straight up 99 or 100% pure acetone.
This gives a little bit of a melt.
This actually melts it, yeah, it's so aggressive that you barely rub it on there. And the shine comes right back. I was like, what a cool trick. You know, that's the joy of the knife industry. Everyone that I've met, that I deal with, they've just been amazing. They tell me anything you ask. Yeah. Many other industries I've been in and worked in, they're gatekeepers. They don't want you to know because they don't want you to take their business. And I feel like knife makers are the exact opposite. Yeah. It's such a difficult process. Everyone's just giving up everything, and it's still hard. And there you go, you know. And off and on, I've been adding a little extra little bit for people that want it really, really tight.
Yeah.
My dad wants that. I think he wants to jump off something and like do a tumble or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, for me, this is good. You know, some have a little more rattle than others, I think, but this knife is old as well.
Yeah, the one you gave me is just...
This is one of my V1. I can tell because the Cerakote is shiny.
Yeah, this one is...
Yeah, so this is probably a new one. Yeah, much tighter.
Yeah.
This is the one we just made. Yeah. But it's not going anywhere. Yeah. And then the little thumb ramp, I mean, I've had a swoop, I've had a flat, I tried so many different things. But yeah, each model will keep getting better, and I think the form of it, you know, in the end, this is all kind of like an art and sculpture thing, and I really like the form.
No, that's great. I love it.
Also, I offer the leather sheaths made by Tailored by Cortez. These are offered by Tailored by Cortez. These are amazing. He does a really good job. The construction is beautiful, and I think, you know, they really hold them in there firm, but it's easy to get out of your pocket. This is my day-to-day sheath for sure. I'd recommend getting one of these, definitely. Have to make sure you guys get these.
I like to have multiple different options for day to day.
Exactly.
2 to 3 sheaths.
And then I was, yeah. Oh, the only other thing is the handles. I could run the end of that handle so you can at least get a clip. Turns in here,
Sweet.
But that keeps your chop back clean as hell.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then that has a HEPA.
Saving money on filters.
Yeah, never buy a filter ever.
Yeah.
All right. So this has got really good vacuum. Yeah. You can open it up. Yeah, the amount of, it's really aggressive. Let's go to the right tool. You can see in a normal, without the vacuum, you would have a pile of micarta. Like literally, you wouldn't be able to see the handle.
Really?
It would just be a mountain of this weird soft fluff. It looks like cotton, or I don't even know how to explain it. It's a very fine dust.
It's cutting a lot, yeah. That is neat.
And I'll take this one off after and just run one from the beginning, and then once it gets to the long part, we'll just stop it. This is going to be a lot of the same for a minute. Yeah.
Looks pretty good though. Good more angles.
Actually, I could set this up. Like when that thing's going, you do something else, you know?
Yeah, you're never sitting still.
No, if you're standing watching, you're wasting your time. Yeah. At first, you're like just scared the thing's going to blow up. Like, is this tool going to run into that? And it is nerve-wracking. You crash it and it's a big deal. I run a lot of these while I'm sleeping. Yeah. So it's like Christmas. You get down here in the morning, you're like, God, I hope something's down there and not broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I've been doing is between each tool change, it goes down to the thing and just checks if it's broken. And if it senses it's shorter than it should be, it turns off the machine. After a few mistakes, you lose like 50 seconds in between. But what is that?
Yeah. It's going like all night.
Yeah, like 5 hours. Like who cares? I'm gonna wake up like 10 hours, or you know, I'm really gonna sleep 4 hours, but I'm not gonna be down here for another 10 hours.
Yeah.
Here it is. So this is a blank. Yeah. This is the small one. So this is like the one I was doing the Kydex on. Yep. But I mean, you order these and then you gotta mill them into what you want.
Hope you did it right.
Yeah, there's you wouldn't believe how many of these have hit the garbage.
Oh, man.
And you're just like, oh dude, my wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thick mineral oil, like food grade. And then you just let it soak in, but you can literally do it right away. I mean, just blot it. And it'll dry up a hair, but that color is gonna stay for a very long time. I just take them and then give them a nice little rub and kind of dry them off. And it'll get rid of most of the sheen. You know, in an hour, this is gonna dry up. And you got a really nice, deep, rich color compared to that white that you had. Back to beautiful. Simple as that. Literally, I knew nothing. I just know that I like knives. I know about materials and machining, and you just jump into it. You want to use G10, you figure out how to use G10. You know, that's I think the most challenging and fun part of this whole thing.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so you've got 3 sizes. I have the regular, which is called regular. Winnebago. Standard Winnebago.
Yeah.
Numero uno. And then you went, did you make them all 3 at the same time, the sizes, or did you?
I started with the standard, but it wasn't long after that I did the other 2 sizes. I mean, this, I was just trying to get it ergonomically, like, for me, perfect. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think once I had that, I was just trying to get that feeling through the rest of them. That's harder than you'd think, because you can't just scale it down.
Yeah.
Because then it just feels weird. That's what I first did. I 3D printed it, scaled down. Mm-hmm. You grab it, and you're like, nothing works now. Mm-hmm. That's great. So I did the same thing with the paper and the cardboard, but you still want it to index correctly. So I did the mini second, thinking that maybe it would be easier. Yeah. And smaller doesn't mean easier. Yeah. I think it's actually more of a challenge because of just how tiny everything is, all the features. So less jimping, smaller everything, even the chamfers kind of got to get smaller. Yeah. And then I actually changed the bite shape a hair, just because the mini is probably going to be more of an EDC knife and a little less of a Skinner hunting type knife, so it's a little sharper actually. And that's the black G10 and camel canvas micarta. Micarta has such a great grip to it. You know, it also looks beautiful, but the grippiness is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, even this is like still so usable, like the design. So let's talk about this, and then let's talk about how you actually got to the design.
Being from Wisconsin, we're pretty big into camping and outdoor stuff, but I wanted a camp knife that could pretty much do anything. Yeah. So I'm more into fishing and hunting at this point, because it's easier to get out there and do. Yeah. But this is a perfect knife for just cutting vegetables, cutting up fish. If you have to hack into something on campsite, I mean, you can really get it with this. It's sharp. I wouldn't pry with it, but it's a durable knife. Yeah. I mean, this is a beefy knife, and you can see the handle is actually much thicker, because I realized when wet and out there, you don't want this little skinny little thing that you can fit in your pocket. That's not the point. This is really about grip. So it has more of a round, bulbous handle to it, and I actually have to order a different material because of it, because it passes the thickness. But it feels very similar, but it looks similar at a distance, but it is much different.
Yeah. That's a 3.5 inch blade, is that right?
Yeah, it's just over maybe. It's 3.65, I think, something like that.
And this is 2.6?
So, I mean, this, you can really do some chopping. Yeah. You can get some stuff done with this. I think if you're going to pocket this, that's up to you, but I personally wouldn't. And I've been working on a couple of different iterations of the belt loop. This is the latest prototype by tailored by Cortez, but it's just a laser cut leather. It's going to weigh damn near nothing. It's going to be low profile in your bag, and when you want to throw it on, it'll just be right tight up on you. It sits really well, and I think this is going to be the real solution moving forward for lightweight. You know, awesome. Backpack carry, but still have the ability to do this if you want.
Yeah, that's really cool.
You know, of course, you could take it off, do whatever you want.
Yeah, you got options.
But yeah, I think moving forward, now that I have the models and I'm, you know, starting to sell these and they're out there, I think playing with different materials has been something that I'm really trying to focus on and kind of just elevate the art of it.
Yeah. And then another thing we haven't seen yet is you do offer Cerakoting, right?
Yeah, so I'm working with the local Cerakote right now to see if I can do kind of more of a bulk thing, so I don't have to do one at a time.
Yeah.
And it's a guy that mostly does ARs and different guns, but he does a lot of cool finishes, bronzes and camos and stuff. So I think rather than me doing it, I'm gonna try to get him on board. And for Blade Show, I should have quite a few cool ones, you know, unique ones to offer, kind of prototype ones.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, now that for camp knife, that's also great. You know, Cerakote is okay for food, but it's not really recommended. I personally wouldn't do it.
Would you say it's more aesthetic?
Yeah, I mean, it's durable, it's good. You can still do a ton with it, but I wouldn't go cutting up steaks with it every day, you know. It's not really what it's for. Yeah, it's been super fun to have you guys here. I can't believe you got up so early and came down here, but
good. I'm glad you were up for it.
you know, I'm like a hermit down here alone most of the time, and it's so sick to have you in here and just show all of what I've been doing, you know.
Yeah, you've done a good job with this spot. Sweet bikes, fun car.
I think, I don't know the exact square footage, but I'm probably working in like 150 square feet.
That's awesome.
Something like that.
You use it well, dude. So great. So cool. Yeah, I can't wait to see all the development.
Yeah, it's super fun. I will keep you guys updated, but I'm going to have a table at Blade Show Texas this year.
Awesome.
And I'll be back at Blade Show West again. But
Sweet.
yeah, Texas will be fun. Have you gone to that one?
I haven't, and I won't be there this year, unfortunately. We're going on a spring break family trip to Portugal.
That area is
So, yeah, it'll be fun to see.
pretty fun in comparison to Utah, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the lines are wild out there. The people that line up,
Sweet.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to make it down there for one of
Bigger
those.
population, I bet. Yeah, Salt Lake was fun.
Something about everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
Well, they like knives.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure Portugal will probably beat Blade Show, but
When
I'm
are
excited.
That's the 20 and 21st of March?
Yeah, I think we fly out the 19th or something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, the weekend right after that, yeah.
Awesome, dude.
It's a really fun show. I like that one. I think that one's the best one, honestly. Just the right size.
Yeah, and then you kind of said you had some plans for that show, right? A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what I
See the
can.
booth.
Yeah, we'll see what I can get done here. But yeah, I'm gonna have some real unique stuff, different things that I don't offer on my website for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Sweet, dude.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. It's cool.
Cut.